Thursday, June 9th. Lawlessness in America, the progressive culture of death. America, once a nation of laws, is fast becoming a lawless country. Consider recent headlines. Darrell Brooks Jr. should have been in jail. Plowed his speeding SUV into a Christmas parade, killing 6 and injuring 61 celebrants, including grandmother, mother, and children. While Fort Brooks weaponizes SUV to perpetrate a massacre, he already had a long record of violent criminal behavior. Yeah, he never went to jail. Nevertheless, never went to jail. Progressive officials set him free with minimal bond on the streets of Waukesha, Wisconsin, to kill and maim innocent Americans. Looks like some of the same stuff in California, Illinois, Minnesota, Florida, most quote-unquote progressive states in the U.S. Criminal gangs have been targeting high-end retail outlets. So, you think, oh man, I bought this guy and he, beat me with his, softball bat or whatever, I mean, this guy is saying that's nothing, killing 6 people, not even going to jail. His car. Criminal gangs have been targeting high-end retail outlets for blatant smash and grab burglaries. Looters smash glass, threatening employees of retail establishments, taking their loot, including their loot. By the way, there's a lot of thievery in Austin, but, Austin's probably one of the safest cities to live, to be honest with you. Its criminal mobs have little to fear from law enforcement. The places they target are in states and municipalities. Not like the police are really fading away in Austin, but at least Austin residents are really nice and stuff, Places they target and generous. Places they target are in states and municipalities governed by progressive politicians insist on defunding the police, releasing suspects without bail, allowing violent felons out of prison years before their sentences are served. The rapidly deteriorating state of law and order has people asking what is happening to our country. The answer is simple. We are reaping what progressives, by the way, this is, it has copyright on it, but David, North and David Oliver Ghosh. Let's see if it goes through. Oh look. Combat decorated U.S. Marine. Good. Rapidly deteriorating state of law. You're already progressives have shown by devaluing human life. Tragic consequence of the devaluation of human life is the culture of death now pervading American society. And I thought about this for a couple of years back. When our political leaders legalize the murder of innocent unborn children, should anyone really be surprised when murder becomes mundane? Now, this is a decorated U.S. Marine here speaking. So basically, these aren't lies coming out of the mouths of nice, ordinary citizens. These are what I would probably call facts. American citizens try to defend themselves and their property from violent looters. Arsonists and criminals are immediately labeled white supremacists. Vigilantes are reversed by the media. That's what happened to Mark and Patricia, Polsky in St. Louis, Missouri last June when they defended their lives home from a mob. And a more egregious example is the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, the guy who had that street fight with his guns. Following his acquittal for defending himself against violent lawbreakers trying to kill him. 3 people he shot in self-defense were white, yet the mainstream media labeled him a white supremacist. Though writing for the Washington Post, Kathleen Parker recently decried a recent rising tide of vigilante justice and asked, when did we start permitting Americans to take the law into their own hands? Well, there's a plaque in Austin, in his downtown, and it says, for the people. And it's not Austin's fault, but, I believe that is a lot of rude what's going on. You go downtown Austin, downtown where, the same kind of things are happening. You look at the etched on that granite there, it says for the people. And people can take that however they want to. And it's in a building too, so it's not like it's in a statue where they're just going to kick George Washington over and throw corn dogs at it, When did we start permitting Americans to take well, no. The same question indicates how out of touch American leftists really are. We forewarned of this response to lawlessness in our new book, Tragic Consequences of Price America's Bank Rejecting God. Scheduled, and by the way, I did do the look up on Google. Less than 50% of people worship God anymore. So they worship the other side or whatever. Scheduled for release in March 2022, we also describe the tragic consequences when people no longer revere the sanctity of human life. In Joliet, mass shootings, violent mobs, killing children, rage, rampant substance abuse, skyrocketing teen suicide. Herewith questions from Ms. Parker, and I'll put a hopeful thing on this. Even if you do worship the dark side, it's not like it's good, but maybe they could try to pull positive things out of that. I don't know what it would be. I really don't, but here, we'll just continue. Questions from Ms. Parker and her progressive followers. When the public officials elected to protect us fail to do so and instead side with criminals, when they defund law enforcement, when prosecutors release criminals to prey on us, what do you expect law-abiding citizens to do? No, Books Jr., this query has an easy answer. Lock him up. What then is the response to last week's tragic shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan, where a 15-year-old killed 4 schoolmates and 7 were taken in custody? Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of flip the scripts on this article. See, that the thing is yes, there is mass tragedies and violence, people going free, which is it's bad. It's called lessening the budget of the police. Here in Austin, it's supposed to be $800 million. It's $443. That's just enough to keep the coffee machine on, basically. So there is that. But what I was going to say is that if you live in a city, I know that everybody looks for greener skies or whatever, but, it's a fact. There's just more crimes and violence, I guess, that goes... More crime. The crime rate is always higher in the city. It's always higher. Just look at any demographic map. What then is the response to last week's tragic shooting at Oxford High School, Michigan? Taken custody. Lawyers, parents, and perhaps some school officials will be held accountable. But the greater question is, why are children killing children? Democrats are sure to blame the firearm, the Second Amendment. The real problem is the absence of respect for the sanctity of human life, the progressive culture of death. So, there you go.